Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, brave, the
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us bow. Eternal God, we thank you for your presence here today and all that you allow us to enjoy here as your servants. Thank you for allowing us the privilege to participate in this service of acknowledgement for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in their line of duty, and for those who have distinguished themselves in service to our community. By your infinite wisdom, you have guided and ordered their lives and enabled them to serve, sacrifice, and achieve. We've gathered now in this designated place, asking you to bless this occasion and those who will participate. Comfort the families who reflect on the sacrifices made by their loved ones, and bless those who serve diligently in service to our communities. Thank you for their humility, their integrity, their wisdom and commitment. May we all continue to be entrusted with wisdom, compassion, and courage that will fill our hearts with thankfulness to continue the legacy for future generations. All these things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. Thank you and welcome for being here today. On the stage this morning, we are joined by City Manager Mary Bunting, the Honorable Mayor of Hampton, Donnie Tuck, Police Chief Jimmy Weidman, Deputy Chief Kenneth Ferguson, Assistant Chief Brian Coleman, Assistant Chief Jason Price, and Chaplain Gail House. We would also like to recognize and thank Sheriff Karen Bowden, Hampton Police Division's command staff, chiefs, sheriffs, and other dignitaries from surrounding jurisdictions for joining us today. as well as our city council members who are in attendance. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mayor of the City of Hampton, Donnie Tuck, who will read our proclamation. Mayor Tuck.
Good morning and welcome. What a beautiful day it is. What a beautiful day it is. And on behalf of the members of our Hampton City Council, our city staff, and certainly the residents of our city, I want to thank you to our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, and to tell you thank you for your service and sacrifice, as well as to the own members of our Hampton Police Division, as well as our Sheriff Department. Thank you for what you do to keep our residents safe. So, City of Hampton, Virginia proclamation proclaiming May 12th through 18th, 2024 as Police Memorial Week in the City of Hampton, Virginia. Whereas in times of stress, it is wise to recall that the United States of America and the Commonwealth of Virginia have survived major crises within the framework of a government of laws. Whereas the enforcement of such laws is fundamental to the maintenance of a free and just society. Whereas those who enforce such laws are frequently compelled to risk life and limb in the fulfillment of their duties. Whereas the community must renew its faith in and extend its encouragement to those who must carry on this job. And whereas it is the desire of the City Council to join with the National Fraternal Order of Police in honoring those law enforcement officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, therefore, I, Donnie R. Tuck, Mayor, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Hampton, Virginia, do hereby proclaim the week of May 12th through 18th, 2024 as Police Memorial Week in the City of Hampton, and urge all citizens to join with the National Fraternal Order of Police and the Hampton Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 26, in honor of this occasion. During this week, the flags of the City of Hampton, Virginia, shall be flown at half-mast before all municipal buildings, and city-owned vehicles assigned to the Hampton Police Division shall bear appropriate insignia. In witness whereof, I hereunto have set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Hampton, Virginia, to be affixed this 13th day of May, 2024. Thank you, Chief. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Tuck. We would now like to take the opportunity to remember those officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice while serving the citizens of Hampton. Officer Ralph Givazani, badge number 3, end of watch, February 6, 1943. At approximately 1 a.m., a young boy came to the police station and informed the desk officer that his father was at home waiting for his mother to return, at which time he was going to kill her. When Officer Givazani arrived on scene, he was fatally shot by the suspect. The suspect committed suicide prior to being taken into custody. Officer Mark Decipher, badge number 81, end of watch, May 22nd, 1975. Officer Decipher was shot and killed after responding to the scene of a domestic dispute on Leland Avenue. The male suspect had just killed his wife in the front yard of their home and was waiting in ambush for responding officers. Officer Decipher arrived on scene and notified dispatch of his location. At the end of his radio call, the suspect, who was hiding in a bush, opened fire with a shotgun, fatally wounding Officer Decipher. Officer Kenny Wallace, badge number 28, end of watch, February 25th, 1994. Officer Wallace was shot and killed by 3 suspects as he sat in his patrol car. The suspects, 2 juveniles and an adult, were arrested several days later. Officer Wallace never had a chance to fire back. It was later discovered that the adult suspect had intended to shoot another Hampton police officer who had arrested his brother earlier that night. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember these remarkable officers and their ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. I would also like to take this moment to recognize the Wallace family who is in attendance today. Thank you for being here and thank you for your sacrifice. All rise.
Rifle team, fire, 3 volleys, present, off.
Aim. Full. Ready. Aim. Full. Ready. Stand by. Full.
Order, off.
Please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce Police Chief Jimmy Weidman.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's ceremony, and thank you for attending. We gather here to honor our brave service members who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, our exceptional members who are leaders, and all those that support our mission. As we recognize their achievements, let's reflect on the sacrifices they make daily. These officers go beyond, ensuring the safety and well-being of all the members of our community. They embody the true spirit of service. To our award recipients, you have demonstrated excellence, compassion, resilience. Your actions inspire all of us. Whether it's providing admirable examples of leadership, providing aid during an emergency, or fostering community trust, you make a difference. Remember that behind every award lies countless hours of hard work, sacrifice, and teamwork. As we celebrate your accomplishments, let us also acknowledge the families who stand by your side and the silent heroes who share in your journey. May your dedication continue to inspire us, and may we always strive to uphold the values of honor, integrity, and service. Let us continue to honor our fallen heroes by supporting their families, standing by our brothers and sister officers, and assuring that their legacy lives on. May their courage inspire us to build safer and more compassionate communities. And it continues to be my honor and pleasure to work and stand beside you all in this honorable profession. Thank you.
In a minute. Thank you, Chief. At this time, we will award the police honorees. We will begin by recognizing the recipients of the Division's 2024 Life Saving Awards.
Attention!
The Life Saving Award is presented to the members of the police division that perform an extraordinary act on or off duty to save or attempt to save a life. Officer Timothy Cruz. On February 27, 2024, Officer Cruz was dispatched to the 3300 block of Pershing Court in regard to a shooting complaint. Officer Cruz was the first officer on scene and located an adult male on the ground suffering from an accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officer Cruz was quick to assess the life-threatening injury and applied pressure to the wound utilizing medical gauze from his first aid bag. Officer Cruz helped stop the bleeding from the gunshot wound prior to medics arriving on scene. The male was transported to Riverside Hospital for his injuries and immediately taken into surgery by medical staff. During surgery, medical staff determined that the injuries were much more severe than they initially thought, and his status was upgraded to life-threatening. There's no doubt Officer Cruz's quick actions preserved this man's life. Senior Police Officer Jesse Evans, Officer James Clemens, who could not be here today, and Senior Police Officer Jacob Jensen, who could also not be here today. On February 18, 2024, Hampton Public Safety Communications received a complaint for a possible suicide attempt. The complainant advised there was something wrapped around the male's neck. Senior Police Officer Evans and Jansen appropriately expedited their response to the residents, and upon their arrival, located the residents quickly. They were responding to the trailer park located at 2920 North Armstead Ave. The trailers are not consistently numbered and can be difficult to locate numbers on the exterior of the residence. The tenure and experience of these officers proved to be paramount this day. They provided clear instructions of their location to incoming officers and medics. They entered the residence without hesitation and quickly located the victim in the closet with a cord tightly tied around his neck. The victim had only minutes left to live as a result of the cord being tied so tightly. The victim's eyes were bloodshot, his face was blue, and he was unresponsive. Their initial attempts to remove the cord by hand were failing, so Officer Clemens handed trauma shears to SPO Evans, and he was able to cut the cord from around the victim's neck. The victim was able to regain consciousness and was transported to Centera Careplex. Sergeant Stephen Carpenter and Corporal Pedro Jamosin. On March 11, 2023, at approximately 1:07 p.m., officers responded to 555 Settlers Landing Road in reference to a suicidal person leaning over the ledge of the top floor of the parking garage. Upon arrival, Corporal Jamosin made contact with the victim and immediately began building a rapport with the individual, utilizing his skills as a crisis intervention team member. The victim was highly emotional and had one leg over the side of the building and made comments he no longer wished to live. Sergeant Carpenter arrived on scene and assessed the situation as he listened to Corporal Jamosin attempt to have the victim come off the ledge. The victim was solely focused on Corporal Jamosin and refused to move away from the ledge. Corporal Jamosin gave nonverbal signs to Sergeant Carpenter, who approached and securely grabbed the victim around his body, pulling him to safety. The individual was placed under emergency custody order and transported to Centera, where he was given the assistance he needed. Corporal Brian Rowe, Officer Jasmarie Fernandez, and Officer John Kelly, who could not be here. On August 31st, 2023, the Hampton Police Division responded to a call at 440 Marion Road in reference to a subject who had fired multiple shots into a residence. While en route, a second call was received at 502 Marion in reference to a subject with a firearm possibly bleeding and trying to enter the residence. Officer Kelly and Fernandez arrived on scene at 502 Marion Road and observed a male lying on the ground, kicking at the door. Upon initial observation, the male appeared to be suffering from traumatic injuries due to the large amount of blood. Officer Kelly and Fernandez immediately began rendering first aid and was joined by Corporal Rowe. Officers were able to remove the victim's clothing and observed numerous gunshot wounds to his upper torso. The officers applied chest seals to the victim's injuries while keeping him alert and talking about the incident. Officers provided aid until members of the Hampton Division of Fire and Rescue arrived and took over. Officer Kelly rode in the ambulance and obtained vital information about the incident. Upon arrival at Riverside Hospital, the victim was immediately rushed into surgery. A few hours later, the victim succumbed to his injuries while in surgery. Officer Kelly, Fernandez, and Corporal Rowe remained poised while rendering aid to the victim. If not for the first aid that was provided, important information regarding this incident would not have been obtained. Not only did they provide life-saving care to the victim, but they did so while trying to gather information to assist with the investigation. Master Police Officer Kenneth Hicks and Senior Police Officer Jacob Goodman. On April 22nd, 2022, Officer MPO Hicks and Senior Police Officer Goodman responded to Belmont Inn located at 1781 North King Street in reference to a suicide complaint. When officers arrived on scene, they found a woman who had hung herself in the laundry room in an apparent suicide attempt. The female still had a pulse but was unconscious and not breathing. MPO Hicks lifted the female up as SPO Goodman cut her down, freeing her airway. Due to the limited space in the laundry room, she was carried outside into the breezeway where the officers started CPR until medics arrived. Medics were able to stabilize the female and transport her to the careplex and eventually to Norfolk General to receive further medical attention. The female did not survive this ordeal, passing several days later after the incident. If it wasn't for the immediate response for these officers and their quick action to render aid, she would have ultimately perished in the laundry room of the motel. Lieutenant Michael Benjamin, Officer Marcus Giotto, Sergeant John James, who could not be here today, and Officer Asher Figures, who could not be here today. On March 15, 2022, at 2:22 p.m., Hampton Police Communications received a call stating a male was sitting in the rear of a truck and had just shot himself. Patrolman Figures arrived on scene and located a male unharmed sitting on the tailgate of the truck. The subject immediately produced a firearm and told Patrolman Figures to back up. The male indicated there was one bullet in the firearm which he was going to use to kill himself. Sergeant James arrived on scene and assisted. From a cover-down position, Patrolman Figures attempted to build a rapport with the male as he sat on the tailgate of the truck holding the firearm. During the interaction, the male placed the firearm under his chin on one occasion to complete his suicide attempt. Patrolman Figures and Sergeant James instructed the male to lower the firearm. The male disregarded the officer's instructions and ultimately shot himself. Patrolman Figures, Sergeant James, and Lieutenant Benjamin approached the male and immediately performed life-saving measures. As a result of their actions, they were able to gain a faint pulse. Medics arrived on scene and transported the male to Terra Careplex, where he ultimately succumbed to his injuries. We will now recognize officers receiving the Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor is the highest award bestowed upon a member of the division. It is an award to a member who intelligently and in the line of police duty distinguished himself by the performance of his actions of gallantry and valor at imminent personal hazard to life with knowledge of risk, over and beyond the call of duty. Corporal Scott Quisenberry. On the night of April 22nd, 2023, Corporal Quisenberry responded to assist on a call for a single vehicle accident near the intersection of Woodland Road and Andrews Boulevard. As he was stopped at a red light, he heard multiple gunshots coming from the area of the accident. Corporal Quisenberry exited his vehicle and observed a suspect running from the area of the accident, holding what appeared to be a firearm. He began giving verbal commands to the suspect. The suspect fired towards Corporal Quisenberry, striking him once in the left thigh. Corporal Quisenberry returned fire, striking the suspect several times. He maintained his composure and even directed incoming units. Once units arrived, he remained collected and worked to maintain the scene. He was able to self-treat his injury until proper assistance was provided. Corporal Quisenberry remained positive throughout the healing process and returned to work quickly with the same positive outlook and drive that has made him stand apart. It is for these reasons Corporal Scott Quisenberry is receiving the Medal of Honor Award. We will now recognize officers receiving the Medal of Valor. The Medal of Valor is awarded for the successful performance of an act of extraordinary heroism while engaged in personal combat with an armed adversary at imminent personal hazard to life in an intelligent performance of duties. Corporal Robert Frescatore and Senior Police Officer Hunter McGee. On January 11, 2023, Corporal Robert Frescatore, SPO McGee were working an assignment with the U.S. Marshal Task Force. The unit was conducting mobile surveillance on a suspect who had multiple warrants, one being a homicide which occurred in the Hampton in December of 2022. Corporal Frescatore, SPO McGee, and other task force agents were able to identify the suspect as being the front seat passenger in the vehicle they were surveilling. A plan was formulated to conduct a vehicle pin maneuver in a safe area to arrest the suspect. The suspect vehicle was pinned on Big Bethel Road and Todd's Lane. The task force vehicle Corporal Frescatore was occupying stopped just short of the location to block other civilian traffic. The suspect exited the vehicle pointing two handguns and began shooting towards task force agents and Corporal Frescatore, who then returned fire. Corporal Frescatore sought cover behind a task force vehicle, which he described hearing bullets strike at the time. SPO McGee took a position behind the rear task force vehicle engaged with the target. SPO McGee was prepared to engage with the suspect but did not due to her concerns for the safety of the officers and public behind the suspect. She moved to a different vantage point and quickly recognized the fugitive no longer presented an immediate threat. The suspect was struck by gunfire and fell to the ground. A task force member was also struck by gunfire. Corporal Frescatore moved the suspect away from the vehicle and began medical aid. SPO McGee notified Public Safety Communications of the incident and requested medical assistance for both the officer and the fugitive. SPO McGee remained the point of contact for communication until additional Hampton Police Division supervisors arrived and assumed control over the scene. Corporal Frescatore and SPO McGee performed an act of heroism while confronted with a life-threatening situation during the course of their duties. They made split-second decisions while confronted by an armed adversary. It is for these reasons they are both Corporal Frescatore and SPO McGee are awarded Distinguished Medal of Valor. We will now recognize the officers receiving the division's Meritorious Service Award. The Meritorious Service Award is presented to an individual who had displayed at least 5 years of exceptional service to the City of Hampton and as a law enforcement officer. This year's recipients are Captain Rebecca Warren, 3rd award. Captain Warren could not be here with us today. Clap for, yep, thank you. Lieutenant Stephen Kepler, 2nd award. Sergeant Mark Birdsong, 3rd award. Sergeant David Giles, 2nd award. Sergeant Reginald Hampton, 2nd award. Sergeant Eric Rummel, 2nd award. Corporal Nicholas Kennedy, 2nd award. Senior Police Officer Christopher Bertram, First Award. Senior Police Officer Joshua Dye, First Award. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Senior Police Officer Hunter McGee, First Award. Senior Police Officer Adam Woolard, First Award. And Patrol Officer Emily Davidson, First Award. We will now present the Volunteer of the Year Award. The Volunteer of the Year Award recognizes an outstanding volunteer whose exceptional and dedicated service during the past year has enhanced the division and its mission and/or performed services or tasks that made a significant impact on the community of the City of Hampton. This year's Volunteer of the Year is the Ministers Police Academy alumni. The whole group. The Minister Police Academy was started in 2017 by retired Corporal Ernest Williams as a way of increasing the understanding between the police and its faith-based community. After the graduation of the first class of the Ministers Police Academy, the Minister Police Academy alumni was formed with retired Corporal Williams taking lead. The Minister Police Academy alumni, which boasts approximately 10 members, has been involved in many events. However, their proactiveness in the community is most notable. They partner annually with the Knights Welcome Winter Shelter Program to provide meals to homeless individuals within the city during the winter months. This past year, they volunteered to provide meals during 4 of the 5 sessions. They also have provided free meals to children participating in programs at all Hampton community centers, with the exception of one, and adopts 2 schools a year, and during Teachers Appreciation Week provide meals to all staff. During 2023, they adopted Bassett and Mary Peak Elementary Schools to provide meals to the faculty and staff. The Ministers Police Academy alumni also provides meals to our heroes behind the scenes, our telecommunication staff during the holiday season. Exemplifying compassion, generosity, and their commitment to education, the Ministers Police Academy alumni created the Dr. Betty Long Scholarship Fund in memoriam of Dr. Betty Long, Hampton Police Chaplain and Hampton Police Alumni member. The Dr. Betty Long Scholarship Fund has already begun to make a significant and positive impact on the lives of deserving students, providing them with the opportunity to pursue their academic aspirations. The first $2,500 scholarship was awarded to a Hampton High School student in June of 2023. The Ministers Police Academy alumni never misses an opportunity to assist and make themselves available to the division and the citizens of Hampton at a moment's notice. Each member has a vested interest in collaboratively improving the overall well-being of the city of Hampton, which is displayed in everything that they do. Their selfless devotion to others doesn't go unnoticed, and though they may not hear it enough, we thank each of them and appreciate all they do for the Hampton Police Division and the citizens of Hampton. It is for these reasons and many more, the Hampton Police Division would like to acknowledge the Ministers Police Academy alumni for our 2024 Volunteer of the Year. And now I'd like to present the Pat G. Minetti Excellent in Leadership Award. The P.G. Minetti Excellent in Leadership Award will be awarded to a member of the police division who has demonstrated high moral character, superior leadership qualities, and a commitment to overall excellence. The Chief of Police will make the selection for this award. Therefore, nominations for this award are not accepted. The PG Sergeant Mark Birdsong. Sergeant Mark Birdsong began his career in law enforcement in February of 2004, working various assignments in uniform patrol. He then found his passion as a canine handler, partnering with Canine Rip from November 2005 to January 2022. He was upgraded to senior police officer in 2009, master police officer in 2013, and further advanced through the ranks, earning promotions as corporal in 2020 and sergeant in 2023. Currently assigned to the Community Engagement Unit, Sergeant Birdsong exemplifies unique and impactful interactions that foster safety, awareness, and strong relationship between the division and the community.
Thank you. Yeah, this is nice. I like this.
I'm not done. I'm not done. All right. His tenure as Community Engagement Sergeant has been marked by significant achievements, including his arduous task of certifying the Hampton Police Division as a crime prevention community. He has revitalized the Citizens and Ministers Police Academies and spearheaded the division's 2024 United Way campaign, raising funds to support the Virginia Peninsula's less fortunate. Sergeant Birdsong leads his unit to intentionally occupy the spaces where community members assemble to discuss their safety, wellness, and quality of life matters. Subsequently, Sergeant Birdsong responds by developing community crime prevention programs. Given all the responsibilities inherent in his assignments, he still manages to find time to assist the Police Training Academy with basic recruits. Sergeant Birdsong plays a pivotal role in coordinating the division's participation in community events, workshops, neighborhood watch programs, national night out, fundraisers, trunk or treat, and numerous other activities. His presence at each of these events, alongside with his unit and other officers, demonstrates the dedication to community engagement and his commitment to public service. Sergeant Birdsong has received the division's Meritorious Service Award on 3 occasions and also received numerous accolades from the community, Hampton City Schools, and other City of Hampton departments for his work on various collaborations and community endeavors. For someone who embodies the division's mission and cares for his city and its residents, I present Sergeant Mark Birdsong as a recipient of this year's P.G. Minetti Excellent in Leadership Award. The second recipient is going to be Mrs. Tiaka Booker. She wasn't aware of this. Mrs. Tiaka Booker's journey in the division is a testament to her exceptional leadership skills. She started as a Central Records Specialist on October of 2018, and her command group recognized her aptitude and critical thinking and instruction, promoting her to the role of Central Records Team Lead in January of 2022. Mrs. Booker received the Chief's Coin in February of 2024, Employee of the Quarter of the first quarter of 2021, and Employee of the Month award in 2019 and 2022. Mrs. Tiaka Booker does not let boundaries of her assignment limit her positive influence on others. She represents the police division as a new hire advocate for all sworn and professional employees. Volunteering as a new hire advocate means she is the first person new hires meet, sets the standards for, and creates the welcoming feeling new hires receive on their first day. It is not unusual to witness Mrs. Booker arriving to work early and remaining as long as necessary to ensure the unit's efficiency and her team's needs. Further, Ms. Booker cares for the police division and those who work here is demonstrated with her humility and sincerity. She sets the standard for others, sworn and non-sworn, to follow by going above and beyond in her daily activities and continually adopting opportunities to support and teach all members of the division. Recognizing all the qualities that make Mrs. Tiaka Booker such an efficient leader, it is with great honor that I present her with the prestigious P.G. Minetti Excellent in Leadership Award.
Ma'am. Typically, we dedicate Police Memorial Week to celebrate the achievements and sacrifice of law enforcement professionals and their support. It is also an opportunity to recognize the exceptional people who have enhanced our ability to serve our communities, protect our members, and enrich our quality of life. Miss Mary Bunting is this exceptional person. Yes, ma'am. And it gives me great pleasure to present her with the P.G. Minetti Excellence in Leadership Award for her outstanding leadership and unwavering support of the Hampton Police Division. Ms. Bunting, a Hampton resident and Hampton High School graduate, attended Baltimore Johns Hopkins University and furthered her studies at Syracuse University in New York. She became a Hampton City Manager in 2009 and is the first woman to hold the position since the city was established in 1950. By virtue of her position, Ms. Bunting provides direction and leadership to our municipal services. Ms. Bunting has numerous stellar professional achievements and services to the City of Hampton. Top among them is the creation of an award, the 311 Customer Call Center in Hampton. It allows residents to dial one number, 311, for non-emergencies, connect with any city department instead of searching over 50 phone directories. During her tenure, Hampton has earned All-American City recognition 3 times and garnered multiple national accolades, including a finalist spot for Harvard's University Innovation in Government Award. Also, because of her innovative programs under Bunting, Hampton is gaining recognition as a national leader in the coastal resilience movement. In another point of pride, Bunting was named a White House Local Innovative Champion of Change. In 2004, Ms. Bunting's leadership coordinated the effort with Human Resources and Fiscal Management to implement the City of Hampton's Public Safety Step Plan and is currently evaluating adjusting for a civilian professional workforce as well. Her efforts improve our recruiting and retention efforts and demonstrate her appreciation to members who have chosen to make their career an impact in the community in a positive way. Ms. Bunting's visionary approach, strategic thinking, and ability to inspire and motivate others has significantly contributed to the success of our team, the Hampton Police Division. Personally, her patience and mentorship has allowed me the courage to make mistakes and the autonomy to make leadership decisions. I have the pleasure of observing from this front row position, Ms. Bunting's navigate the sensitive and critical issues with grace, compassion, and intentionality. Through Ms. Bunting's example, I have learned that leadership is not about authority, it's about positive impact in the people you lead. By combining humility, compassion, and empathy, you can foster a support and thriving work environment. Ms. Bunting's leadership has elevated the Hampton Police Division and positively impacted our community. Her dedication, vision, and commitment make her an exceptional candidate for this prestigious award. For someone who embodies the Hampton Police Division's mission and cares for this city and its residents, I present Ms. Mary Bunting as the recipient of this year's P.G. Minetti Excellence in Leadership Award.
You got me.
Sir. Yeah, those last few. We good?
Please join me in a round of applause for all our honorees. Please rise for the benediction, which will be performed by Chaplain Gail House, and remain standing for the retirement of colors.
Let us bow. Lord, be with us now to strengthen us, about us, to keep us, above us, to protect us, beneath us, to hold us, before us, to direct us, behind us, to keep us from straying, and round about us, to defend us. May the strength of God sustain us. May the power of God preserve us. May the hands of God protect us. May the way of God direct us. May the love of God go with us this day and forever. Amen.
Lieutenant Olson. Sorry. Lieutenant Olson, retire the colors.
Color team, retire the colors. Present arms.